And then you deployed. And you did the oil rigs, right?
I did. So we just kind of luck of the draw, I guess. We were originally slated to be a PACOM platoon. We were going to go to Guam, and when we did, but so I actually re-enlisted to go to Arabic school and at DLI. That was one of my things. I wanted to learn Arabic, and so they were supposed to honor that, and then we got re-slated as a PACOM platoon. Like, no, you're going to learn Tagalog instead. Congratulations! I was like, you got to be kidding me. So
you speak Tagalog?
I wouldn't say I speak it.
You learned it?
Yeah, not at DLI. So they in true Navy fashion, it's like, you're not going to Arabic, you're not going to DLI, you're learning Tagalog, and it's going to be at North Island for 3 months straight.
Okay.
So it's not the same.
Yeah.
But I can carry on a basic conversation with it. But so anyway, we go to Guam. This is like October of 2002, and then we did the standard PACOM deployment. But towards the end of the year, they basically the writing was on the wall, like Iraq's going to kick off. So Team 5 came and backfilled us, and I tell you, I don't know that they could have been any more pissed.
Oh yeah.
Like our turnover party almost was 9 fist fights. But they were pretty salty about it, which I don't blame them. But so they had to come take our place and finish out our PACOM deployment so we could go to Kuwait.
Wow.
And,
those guys must have been pissed.
Oh, they were beyond pissed.
There's a feeling that we won't be able to replicate for a long time, which is guys that had never been to war, the desire that you had to go, because you think you're only going to get like one mission. Everyone at that time, you're like thinking if you get to do some kind of real mission, you'll be just completely, your life will be complete. Yeah. And you think if you don't get to do that, the opportunity's never going to get there.
Yeah.
And so that's why I can't even imagine what was going through those guys' heads at the time.
Yeah, like I said, they had that exact just pit in their stomach, like, we're this close, and you guys, you've already been here. Like, and it was kind of the best of both worlds, because we went to the Philippines for a while, which that was nice speaking Tagalog there. We were there for a month, and then we went to Singapore for a while. We hit Thailand. It was a good PACOM deployment. Spent some time in Guam. Went to Hawaii and did like a 3-week exercise around Christmas. And then so come late January, they're like, they fly in all of our desert stuff, and we totally repurposing all of our crap, and then we flew through Thailand, landed in Kuwait, set up shop at Kuwaiti Naval Base for about 6 weeks while we're getting ready, and so during that time, the oil rig intel, me being the intel rep, like I was sourcing intel from a lot of different sources. And they weren't very well corroborated. Like some of them, it was kind of like on one end of the spectrum, it was like, yeah, it's not that big a deal. And then on the other one, it was like, dude, this is a suicide mission, and everything in between. And so it was a little bit nerve-wracking because it bounced around a lot. It was like, there's nobody on board. And then it's like, there's 4 guys, and, we saw a couple of AKs. And next thing you know, it's like, there's 115 people, and they're all suicide vested up, and, they're going to clack off when you guys step on, it was just... And it just, like I said, it bounced around. But during that time, like, all we did was CQC, and we built actually a full-scale mock-up. Now, mind you, this target was 1,600 meters long. It took us 7 hours to take it down. And but SDV did a recon on it beforehand. And
when you say you built a full mock-up, what do you mean?
I say that. We didn't have the funds of some of the other units to do that stuff with, but it was basically size-wise, we laid out like
with tape,
stakes,
like we normally do.
Like wood stakes and twine. But
check.
just to know, like, hey, this is legitimately how long it is, to give you a real idea, because. So there was berthing at one end, and that's where we hit it at the beginning, because it was the middle of the night. That's where they all were, and so we took. There's 32 prisoners without really any real issue. Breached a bunch of doors and took down the whole berthing, and then swept the whole rest of the thing from one end to the next. And like I said, it took all night. But we did that, and then came back from that, and then from there. It was basically, hey, everybody load up, the war's kicking off. And the one thing I will say that was really neat about that mission, though, is that it was the entire team. I think to this day it's still the largest single, in terms of, participants, special operations mission in NSW history, is because it was the entire team and the coordination effort, because there was a manifold metering station on the beach, and then there's 26 miles of pipeline that were 48-inch pipes. There was like 30 Exxon Valdez worth of oil in these, just in the pipelines, and the worry was, and the reason we had to coordinate it was that the manifold metering station, there's people manning that, there's people on the oil rig and all that pipeline. If they blow that, like, it's going to destroy the whole Gulf. You know, and we'll be the
48-inch pipes.
Yeah,
dang.
Yeah, I mean, you can walk around in them.
That's crazy.
And there was like 4 of them. So but yeah, so basically we had to coordinate with. And we actually had an SDV platoon with us. So it was us and an SDV 1 platoon that hit there was 2 different oil rigs. There was the Maybot and Kayat, the Mina Al Bakr oil terminal, and then the Khor Al Amaya oil terminal. The Kbot one, or Kayat, the Grom guys took down. There was nobody on that. And then we took down the one with all the people on it. But we had to coordinate it, basically time it exact with the other 4 platoons from Team 3, one of which was a DPV platoon when they were still using it. I think that's probably the mission where they decided to can the program because they were terrible. They all got stuck, and it was a mess. But so they met some resistance there. And
just echo that a DPV is like a
desert patrol.
It's a desert patrol vehicle, but it looks like
a dune buggy.
Like a dune buggy, and actually looks even super cooler than dune buggy because they got big like guns. When you're a kid and you see that thing, it's your ultimate fantasy in life coming true to see this badass dune buggy with guns all over it, rockets on it, and you think, oh, this is. If you would have seen those when you were 13 years old, you'd say, whatever I got to do in my life to drive that thing is what I'm going to do. The problem was they're real specific and finicky and
they get stuck.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line. It's like, they're worse than Humvees.
Yeah.
So they took that down, and we timed it basically where it was a simultaneous hit or staggered by 10 seconds, but so that the worry was that if we took it down too early, then they would know and blow the pipes, and vice versa. So we had to coordinate it pretty spot on, but we pulled it off. They managed to take out a few guys on the manifold side. We didn't have any real resistance. No shots fired other than breaching doors on our end. But so we rendezvous back at Kuwaiti Naval Base, and then we jetted up to Ali Salim Air Force Base in northern Kuwait, and then spent the next few days just loading 4 Humvees out. And again, this was the start of the war. We actually only had 3. And we ended up, we snaked one from the Air Force. And I don't even know if I should say it. I'm going to say it anyway. But there was a green Humvee that a couple of our guys walked over to a parking lot and stole it, and brought it over. And we spent one night literally with 2 cans of Tan's paint and a paintbrush, and just painted it tan. And then these were soft doors. We had extra crappy body armor that we'd hang in the doors to try to give us some protection, whatever. And we just were like, well, we're loading up.